Your artworks are, they're all very different, but there's certain elements of the paintings that you see time and time again that will reoccur. And one particular element is the text within the painting.
Wording offers another layer of meaning, and really in their origins, words are an abstract form of an idea, right? If we say that CAT means cat and we all agree on it, and somebody says the word cat, we think of cat. That's an abstract idea going on there. So words allow for that in a really subtle way. Now what I try to do is it's not just about words, it's also about the idea of what those words represent. And a lot of times it's not even necessarily English. And I'm starting to learn different Latin phrases and suffixes and prefixes and putting them in there, Greek. I mean, our alphabet, for instance, comes from the Phoenicians and the Greeks. The Phoenicians, which is where Lebanon is, created the consonants, and the Greeks created the vowels. So language has a really rich history as well, as does the visual iconography. The visual iconography has an older history, right? When we look at cave painting, as far as we know at least, like Lascaux and Altamira, you're talking 35,000 years ago. So all of that is part of the language. All of that goes into telling the story of who we are as human beings.
Okay.
So putting words in there, or lyrics from songs, is just another part of that collective unconscious that we have. I really like wordplay, so I broke down God particle into God particle. So it's 3 different words, and the idea that spirituality and mysticism should have a sense of humor to it. There's a little bit of irreverence to it, and that's the duality. It's that it's very serene and serious, but it's also playful and childlike, and I like that combination. A lot of people have asked about owls or cats or things like that, or still life, for instance, even though that's not as literal, but flowers, any kind of flora, fauna type stuff. Very accessible stuff, more of an interpretation of what we are seeing in real life around us. Then on the complete other side of that is very esoteric. Sumerian cuneiform would be one of those things. Alchemy would be another one of those things. Hieroglyphics. Anything that's not necessarily known or understood by people day to day. So a cat, we can talk about a cat or an owl and say, yeah, we pretty much understand that, and probably everyone in this room has some experience with that. But if I say Sumerian cuneiform, maybe less, probably less. And then in the middle of that is stuff that kind of fuses all that together. So you can take the most obscure, weird stuff in the world and combine it all together, but if you put a cat in the middle of it, people can get engaged by it, and that's really cool. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. To me, what's wrong is pandering. To me, doing a bunch of cats for the sake of doing a bunch of cats is not where I want to go with that. To me, that's not challenging. First, I need to challenge myself, but I also want to challenge the viewer. Because all that stuff, it's accessible to anybody. It's just that I don't think it's that interesting to most people unless you make it interesting. You have to make it identifiable to who we are today. And that's really what I'm trying to get at. Is really trying to find all those different pieces and all those things from antiquity to pop art, like Mad Magazine, to Sumerian cuneiform, and find the connection points between them and explore them and share them with people.